Nice start.
Okay, let's redo this part. Hi everyone, I'm Ian. Welcome to my second video. In this video, I have the guest Kristina. Hi Kristina, thank
Hi,
you
Ian.
for coming. You're being really supportive.
Yeah, I'm Kristina. I was born in Russia and I've lived 5 years in Ireland by now. And we are classmates with Ian.
We are the representative of our major, translation technology. For the people who don't know, what we are studying here is basically kind of technical.
Side of
Yeah,
translation.
linguistic, but kind of technical. We
Yeah.
studied the terminology management. We studied how localization works. We have the programming. How are you doing these days about the assignments? It's such a short semester and we are doing a lot of things.
I mean, that's the most amazing, no, not amazing, amazing is a good word. Frustrating.
Okay.
Frustrating thing about this masters is that I came here with the thought that it's a taught masters, that they're
Okay.
going to be teaching us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but at the end of the day, they're more like of a guidance. And then they expect us to do everything on our own.
Mm-hmm.
So I came out of it really, really exhausted.
Me
Mentally
too,
and physically,
actually.
yeah.
The good thing is we also went to the Brussels trip.
This trip was mentioned in the description of the course. We were allowed access to European Commission, to European Parliament, and not just visitors, but we also managed to meet some actual interpreters and translators.
Yes.
See how they work, ask them questions, get to witness certain things, and that was amazing.
That part I think is really useful.
Yeah.
I mean, I get an overall look of how the interpreters
Yeah,
work in the parliament.
that's
You are studying languages in bachelor degrees?
Yes, I loved languages at school. There was no translation, like in Russia, the logical path is you take your bachelor's in linguistics and then you follow up with a master's in translation. When I moved here, I realized that I needed a job, and I thought, okay, what can I do as a freshly graduated linguist? I spoke Russian, which at that stage was actually quite popular in demand.
Okay.
I spoke English, which was no big deal because everybody spoke English in Ireland. And that was the moment when I realized that being a linguist, but at the same time you have no particular skill to sell. Like, you're not a doctor.
You have
I'm not an
language as a
accountant.
tool.
Yes, exactly.
I was saying that I realized I'm not really fond of languages so that I can do 10 years of interpreting, like for practice and getting certification, those kind of things. That is why I chose this master,
Okay.
translation technology and localization back in China, because I want to find something in the middle. You said the interpreting is fascinating, but you still choose translation technology. Why you don't just go to study interpreting?
Oh yeah, they have few reasons, but there's nothing to do with the fact that I didn't want to study interpreting.
Okay.
It just there was certain points in my life where I was limited and I had to make choices. As you said correctly, technology is important, and I might not be like at the forefront of technology, but I do recognize how important it is to know the technology, how important it is to work with CAT tools, to understand how machine translation work, and not close your eyes and pretend this thing does not exist. And I don't regret it.
Have you ever done translation work before? Do you know the environment of the translation industry in Ireland?
Well, if we talk about pure translation, when you just translate documents, it's hard to say, because when I was in Russia, I felt that translators and interpreters are deeply undervalued.
Okay. In China it's also like that. It's because the competition is so strong, and the price is not transparent.
Yeah.
So the company tried to make the translation price low, and that is why the translators doesn't realize that it's not a really good job for.
I thought the things are different in Europe. I realized that it's similar to a certain extent here as well. It depends. So ideally, I think it's like when you mentioned that you want to find this middle ground.
That's the thing that I'm thinking that I want to do, is because I love language first. That is my intention. I'm choosing that in my bachelor degree. I study translation, and I realize it's not enough for only having the translation in my hand,
Yeah.
and I'm not that good at translation. I will say that there is a CATI. I didn't pass to any of the CATIs, and I'm not like preparing to pass it in the future. So I realized I need to find something in the middle that can let me get into not another industry, but also in the same industry, but have some part knows better than the pure translations. For big companies, technology companies, they need the kind of agency that between linguistic side and the technological side, they need those kind of person to know what they're doing. Let's say whether they are training the machines, whether they're using the AIs to optimize their project management workflow.
My question is, what can translators or linguists, people with background like ours, do? I just cannot see how helpful we are.
Let's say maybe they know the programming, maybe they know how the code works to do the machine translation, but we need to know the quality of the data. That's something we can decide, and we need to cooperate with the people, with the IT people, to make the translation better. We need to have those knowledges. I think the IT people won't be that proficient in that way. We need to know how common languages works, the linguistic side. We need to know how natural language works to make it machine readable.
I agree,
yeah. So I think
then a question: how many positions for linguists
that's the thing.
have you seen?
That's the thing.
The thing is that whatever Jan is saying, cooperation between IT and linguists or translators is required, but we feel like nowadays it's not really acknowledged by the companies because paying linguists is an extra expense. Maybe they think they're fine with that.
Okay.
We have not seen many positions that would require an actual linguist or translator to consult or evaluate the performance from the language point of view.
So you were working in Ireland before you decided to do the master.
Yes.
You were working in TikTok.
I was.
Yeah, I would say it's fancy, but you're saying it's not what you're interested in.
People who come to higher positions in TikTok are people with more specialized education. At the moment when I was working, we were kind of at the bottom hierarchy. Yes, you could grow. I got promoted, and the next promotion could have been like team lead or something. But you always have this ceiling. I just felt I'm not growing enough, and I cannot use my potential. It doesn't mean that nobody can. It depends on your goal. I wanted to do something in languages, and I couldn't do that in TikTok, so I had to change.
So what is your future career plan then?
Well, no, I have a big dream, which is interpreting. I definitely want to try it. Somebody told me once that simultaneous interpreting is something that not everyone can do.
Of course.
So I don't exclude the fact that I might go to the masters and realize I actually cannot do that. But I will know that I've tried, and I won't be regretting it. At when I'm 50, it's like, oh, I wanted to be this, but I, for whatever reason, didn't.
What do you think after studying all of the translation technology and the linguistic major? What option do we have? What kind of job that we can do?
Well, if we put aside all the obvious jobs like
interpreter translation.
Well, definitely I found out what terminologies.
Yes, terminologies. But it's hard to find those kind of jobs on LinkedIn. No one will say that I want a terminologist.
Yeah, I feel that's kind of the job that is done ad hoc.
I think that is the thing. We think our choices is limited because there are a lot of positions that is not on the website. We need to get into the company to know what they actually want.
Yeah.
And
you need to get into the company first. Oh, we forgot about audiovisual industry. Do you dub?
We do, but we do very little. Like people tends to like the original voices of the series or movies. I think so.
Okay. So does it mean that you prefer subtitling over dubbing in China?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but there's still a job for this.
I would say localization project manager, but like basically they need experiences beforehand.
To be honest, I think localization is actually a great industry. That's the industry that provides for the majority of jobs. Because I feel like literally every single international company should have localization at a certain level. as at the beginning of your career, like I personally wouldn't want to be in a freelance. Might be ready, after 15 years of job, when I have experience, when I have clients, when I sick of like busy environments.
That is true.
What do you think you've learned in this master's?
I think what I learned the most is that I realized as a language student that I can choose more opportunities than just being a translator and interpreter. From the technology side, I realized actually we don't have to be limited by the language pair. We don't have to be limited by our skills, because my translator skills is not the best. And I realized I can go to choose other jobs in the translation industries that you can actually fit in, and they want you for, let's say, big companies. The localization department, the terminology department, the machine training or AI learning department, they need linguistics. And if you know those kind of things, it will be a good bonus for you to look jobs.
No, I am happy I went, because I feel like the best thing the masters can give you. It introduced me to the industry properly, and the amount of speeches that we received throughout the year that our professors invited, some of them were extremely uplifting and they were useful and interesting, and it's great to know your opportunities and strive for something.
Yeah,
it's absolutely great. No, I don't have any regrets.
So the purpose of making this video is not to make every language student to feel like very down. I want them to think every major actually is the same. Everything that we study is hard, it's competitive. Yeah, you can feel a little bit lost sometimes, but you need to find the right way to get into the industry with the skills that you have, and to try to learn more about it, to try to figure out what can I be different from other person who is like better than me in translation or interpreting. I think that's what we need to find out. If you like this video, please give me a like. If you like Kristina, give her a like too. Okay, so see you next time. Bye bye.